Hello students, this is Mrs. Sonal Patil. In our last class, we had begun with the chapter Strategies for Enhancement in Food Production, in which we dealt with dairy farm management and poultry farm management. Today, we will be discussing about animal breeding. Breeding of animals is an important aspect of animal husbandry. Mating of selected animals, usually livestock, for desirable characters is the basis of animal breeding. Animal breeding aims at increasing the yield of animals and improving the desirable qualities of the produce. The science of genetics and knowledge of reproductive physiology are applied to improve animals by selecting the individuals that will produce the next generation. Now, what do we understand by the term breed? A group of animals related by descent and similar in most characters like appearance or general appearance, features, size, configuration, etc. are said to belong to a breed. A very, very important question for 1 mark. A group of animals related by descent and similar in most characters like general appearance, features, size, configuration are said to belong to a breed. Systems of breeding. After the breeding stock has been chosen, the next step is to decide how they should be mated. Systems of mating range all the way from mating of same breeds called inbreeding to the mating of different breeds called outbreeding. So when breeding is between animals of the same breed, it is called inbreeding, while crosses between different breeds is called outbreeding. Coming to inbreeding. The term inbreeding refers to the mating of closer relatives within the same breed for 4 to 6 generation. Again, mark this question, very, very important. Systems of breeding will be asked. Inbreeding is nothing but it is referring to the mating of closer relatives within the same breed for about 4 to 6 generations. The breeding strategy is as follows. Firstly, the superior males and superior females of the same breed are identified and they are mated in pairs. Secondly, progeny obtained from such matings are evaluated and superior males and females in them are identified for the further mating. A superior female in case of cattle is the cow or buffalo that produces more milk per lactation. Superior male is the bull which gives rise to superior progeny as compared to those of other males. Inbreeding increases homozygosity. It is increasing the homozygosity. Thus, inbreeding is necessary if we want to evolve a pure line in any animal. Inbreeding exposes harmful recessive genes that are eliminated by selection. It also helps in accumulation of superior genes and elimination of less desirable genes. Therefore, this approach where there is selection at each step increases the productivity of inbred population. However, continued inbreeding, especially close inbreeding, usually reduces fertility. So fertility will be reduced if continuous inbreeding is done, and even productivity will reduce. This is called as inbreeding depression. So the main consequence of continuous breeding of the animals is the development of genetic purity or homozygosity. It may result in the appearance of recessive characters. This may cause the merit of the individuals to decline because dominant characteristics are usually more desirable. It has been observed that continued inbreeding, especially close inbreeding, usually reduces fertility. And as I told you, it is reducing the fertility and even productivity, which is called as inbreeding depression. Whenever this problem occurs, selected animals of the breeding population should be mated with unrelated superior animals of the same breed to restore fertility and yield. So that is about the inbreeding depression, and that is about the inbreeding. Now, whenever, as I told, whenever this becomes a problem, this selected animals of the breeding population, they are mated with the unrelated superior animals of the same breed. This will, what it will do, it will restore the fertility and the yield. Now coming to the outbreeding. Outbreeding is the breeding of unrelated animals which may be between individuals of the same breed but having no common ancestor. Here the ancestor is not common for about 4 to 6 generation, that is called as outcrossing. Or if it is between different breeds, if different breeds are involved, it is called as crossbreeding. Or if different species are involved, it is called as interspecific hybrid. Sorry, here the mistake has been done. It is not inner, it is interspecific hybridization. Coming to the outcrossing. This is the practice of mating of animals within the same breed but having no common ancestors on the either side of their pedigree up to 4 to 6 generations. So here mating of the animals is done within the same breed but there are no common ancestor here for about 4 to 6 generations. The offspring of such a mating is known as outcross. So the offspring is called as outcross here. It is the best breeding method for animals that are below average in productivity, in milk production, growth rate in beef, cattle, etc. A single outcross often helps to overcome inbreeding depression. Again, mark the question, very important. Outcrossing will be asked, outbreeding will be asked. These questions are very, very important. Many a times been asked in the exam. Coming to the next is the crossbreeding. In this method, superior males of one breed are mated with superior females of another breed. Crossbreeding always allows the desirable qualities of two different breeds to be combined. The progeny hybrid animals may themselves be used for commercial production. Alternatively, they may be subjected to some form of inbreeding and selection to develop new stable breeds that may be superior to the existing breeds. Many new animal breeds have been developed by this approach. Example is Hisardale is a new breed of sheep developed in Punjab by crossing Bikaneri Avis and Merino Ram. So Hisardale, again important question. It is nothing but it is a new breed of sheep which is developed by crossing Bikaneri Avis and Merino Rams. That is about the crossbreeding. So crossbreeding, as I told you, here in this method superior males of one breed are mated with the superior females of the another breed. In cattle, in the crossbreeding, what they have done is that in Indian Sindhi cattle are crossbred with European breeds like Holstein Friesian and Jersey. The progenies of these crossbred animals have better milk yield than the parents. The average lactation of exotic breed is about 2450 kg, but the crossbreed progenies of these yield milk ranging from 4450 kg to 4300 kg per lactation. So that is advantage of this crossbreeding. Coming to interspecific hybridization. In this method, male and female animals of two different related species are mated. In some cases, the progeny may combine desirable features of both the parents and may be of considerable economic value. Example, the mule. So in this method, the male and female of two different related species are mated. The progeny may have desirable features of both the parents. The mule is the best example of a successful cross between two different species. The female horse and the male donkey is being crossed. It has economic value compared to donkey and horse. Mule is stronger, swifter, more hardy, disease resistant and more capable of hard work. So this is an example, good example for interspecific hybridization, where male and female animals of two different related species are mated. Again, important question for the examination. Coming to the recent advances in animal breeding, different techniques have been developed recently to improve the quality of animals, particularly of cattle. Some of the important techniques are listed here. The first one is nothing but artificial insemination. So the control breeding programs or the control breeding experiments are carried out using artificial insemination. The insemination of breeding females by other than natural mating is called artificial insemination. In artificial insemination, the semen is collected from the male that is chosen as a parent and injected into the reproductive tract of the selected female by the breeder. The semen may be used immediately or can be frozen and used at a later date. It can also be transported in a frozen form to where the female is housed. This is an advantage of artificial insemination. So it can be transported, the semen can be transported in the frozen form to where the female is housed. In this way, desirable matings are carried. Artificial insemination helps us overcome several problems of normal mating. Often, the success rate of crossing mature male and female animals is fairly low, even though artificial insemination is carried out. So, artificial insemination is having a lot of importance. Artificial insemination can be less costly than natural device, as it saves the breeder with expenses and danger of maintenance of bulls. Semen collected from the healthy and superior variety of bulls can be used to inseminate a number of cows. Under natural conditions, a bull can be bred for 50 to 60 cows in a year. However, in artificial insemination, it is possible to inseminate about 50,000 cows by the semen collected by a single bull in a year. Frozen semen can be transported in vials to distant places and used. This avoids the need to transport the selected bull for the purpose of insemination. Semen of required bull can be stored and that is available for insemination all the times, while the same species of bull may not be available when there is a need for insemination. So there are advantages of artificial insemination. To improve chances of successful production of hybrids, other means are also used. One of the important is multiple ovulation and embryo transfer technology. Very, very important question in the exam for 5 marks. Note this question, very important. It is one such program of herd improvement. So it is also called superovulation and embryo transfer. This technique of hybridization is mostly used for cows. In this technique, the cow is forced to ovulate more eggs, and those eggs are fertilized in vitro, and then the embryos are transferred to the uterus of the surrogate mother. Naturally, the bull is capable of producing millions of sperms at each ejaculation. However, a cow produces only one egg once in about 20 to 21 days of the estrous cycle. The ovaries of cow contain thousands of potential eggs, and most of these ova do not reach maturity, and only a few are produced during the reproductive period. Administration of hormones induces super ovulation in cows. So in MOET, in this method, a cow is administered hormones with FSH like activity to induce follicular maturation and super ovulation. So here, after administration of these hormones to the cow, instead of one egg which they normally yield per cycle, they produce about 6 to 8 eggs. That is the first step. Secondly, the animal is either mated with an elite bull or artificially it has been inseminated. Thirdly, the fertilized eggs at 8 to 32 cells stages are recovered non-surgically and transferred to surrogate mothers. The genetic mother is available for another round of super ovulation. This technology has been demonstrated for cattle, sheep, rabbits, buffaloes, mares, etc. High milk yielding breeds of females and high quality meat yielding bulls have been bred successfully to increase herd size in a short time. So, this technique MOET, that is multiple ovulation and embryo transfer technology question, is very important. So, remember, firstly, the cow is administered with the hormones like FSH to induce follicular maturation and to superovulate. So, instead of one egg, it produces 6 to 8 eggs. The animal is either mated with the elite bull or it has been artificially inseminated. Then the fertilized eggs at 8 to 32 cells stages are recovered. Non-surgically they are being recovered and transferred to the surrogate mothers. Now the genetic mother is again available for another round of super ovulation. So here different steps which are involved here are: first step is induction of super ovulation in the donor cow. Secondly, artificial insemination and recovery of the embryos has been done. Thirdly, transfer of embryo is been done. So in recent past, MOET techniques were initiated in buffaloes also. There are nearly 30 MOET centers in different states of India to produce quality animals. Important such centers are Indian Veterinary Research Institute, Itnanagar, National Institute of Immunology, New Delhi, National Dairy Research Institute, Karnal, and Central Frozen Semen Production and Training Institute, Hisarghata, Karnataka. MOET has been used for producing healthier and high milk yielding offspring. So remember, this technology is very important from the exam point of view. Be perfect with this MOET. Many a times the question is being asked in the exam. So today we will stop here, and in the next class we will begin with the next part of the chapter. Thank you.